You smell that? Smell that in the air? Do you know what that is a smell of? That's a smell of freedom. Freedom is right at our tips. It's right at our fingertips. It's a beautiful day. It's a good day. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Thursday. I don't know my days of the week. Happy Thursday. Guys, I have a decent amount I want to get into. I'm not speaking too well today. Don't know why. I do know why. I've been chewing on a bottle cap for the past 10 minutes. That makes my jaw very tight. When my jaw's tight, I just cannot speak as well. But you don't care. Why am I wasting my time explaining that to you? But what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Before we get into the episode, if you guys are on audio only, if you guys are listening on Apple, if you guys are listening on Spotify, if you're listening on Breaker, if you're listening on Anchor, or not Anchor, but wherever you're listening to the podcast, if you could just take a second out of your beautiful day, you can just take a quick second, go to my Instagram page, Mike R. Labs, or Michael Labs Podcast, hit the link in the bio. There is a link, the first box that you're going to see on Linktree. It says donate to the podcast. Yes, I've announced it. I just now announced it. I am officially accepting donations towards the podcast. Now, why would I do that? Why would I accept donations to the podcast? Okay, so hashtag Stop Asian Hate. See how America is searching to support Asian communities and stop Asian hate. Shout out to Google. That's what it says. That's what it says on my Google search. Also, stop Asian hate. The reason why I have this link now and the reason why there's a donation page to the podcast is for a few reasons. The reason number one, I'm going to try to say this without sounding like a complete jackass. So I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. Not I guess almost 2 years. About 22 months. That's like when people say, "How old is your kid?" 36 months. It's like, no, 3 years old, man. After a certain point, just 3 years old. Like, no, not 26 months. Your kid's 2 years. 2 years and 2 months. But I've been doing it for almost 2 years now, 22 months, and I have been making money through ads, right? Through Google ads. Well, Google has kind of, I don't know what it is about my show specifically. Some of them don't get the revenue that they should be getting. It's because sometimes I might say things that are a little controversial, or sometimes I might curse too early in the episode, or sometimes I might even curse, or sometimes I don't know. Sometimes you say things and YouTube's like, nah, man, we're not having that. So they're just strip away your revenue. So if you are somebody who enjoys the podcast, if you're somebody who listens to the podcast regularly, and if you're somebody who, if you want to support the podcast, and if you've thought about doing it for a while and you don't know how to do it, there's the link on my Instagram. It just takes you right to a donation page. You can do a lump sum donation, or you can do a monthly donation. It's kind of like OnlyFans for podcasting. But that's in the link in the bio. Feel free to do that. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it's there. It's there. I am now accepting donations. What am I going to do with that money? All that money is going to go straight into the podcast, whether it be new equipment, whether it be eventually enough money to get a real studio, because that's what I really want to do. I want to eventually really get a real legit studio. There is an expense to it, and am I willing to make that expense right now? No, I'm not. Not while I'm in school. I don't want to risk any financial things that I know I have to spend a certain amount of money on school, and I want to get that out of the way before I add on an expense like a studio. But if the donation is high enough, I will get a studio, and then I can have guests on, and I can have, then we can expand the podcast that way. So that's something I would be doing with the money. I would be accumulating that money to hopefully get a nice little commercial spot so I can invite people over. There's neutral territory. I don't want to have people just in and out of my parents' house. It just doesn't seem right to them. It doesn't seem right to me. And also it is COVID season, so I don't want to put anybody in a situation where they feel like they're at risk. Especially it's in my bedroom. My bedroom's, I don't know, probably 15 by 15 feet. It's a tiny, tiny bedroom, and there's no air circulation. So if I have COVID, or if you have COVID, or if we both don't have COVID, I just don't want to make somebody feel uncomfortable. And honestly, I don't want to get COVID, yo. Like, I don't want it. I haven't gotten it before. I should have gotten it a number of times. I've lived with people who've had it. I've slept with my girlfriend who had it, and it's like, I don't know. Maybe I was born with the virus in my body, and maybe I'm patient number 1, and I gave it. I spread it. I started it on the East Coast. I don't know. But like stuff like what I just said right there is probably going to get the video demonetized, the podcast demonetized. Dude, my jaw is exhausted. It was a bad idea. I should not have chewed that bottle cap. But let's get into a few things, guys. So I just want to get that out of the way real quick. There is a link in the bio if you guys want to. It's also in the link in the description below. It's the first link you'll see. You can hit that. Donate to the podcast if you want to. Honestly, you don't have to at all. It's totally up to you. But let's get into a few things. So, Maryland just, that's not cool. Frank Perry, please go to illegal firearm. Maryland COVID. So, Maryland just became another state that has followed the trend of slowly reopening. And how do most people feel about it? I don't think a lot of people are in agreement with it. For me personally, I am so happy. Like, honestly, I don't know. There's no way I cannot not be controversial here, because whenever you talk about COVID, you're gonna ruffle feathers. People are gonna be upset with you. But Maryland has been on the decline of COVID since January, and not like a decline, like a little decline, but just dropping like crazy. Like, I think on Tuesday we recorded 619 cases, and it's going down super low. The hospitals are starting to levy up a little bit. Hogan said the pandemic is far from over, but we've been at 50% capacity, large venues, or we've been at 50% capacity for everything that was inside. Maryland just recently reopened everything 100% capacity. Inside, retail, restaurants, gym facilities, and that to me is a good call. I know I've talked about this before on my podcast. I think maybe like the last episode or 2 episodes ago. But when do we reopen? And this is my biggest question. Assuming that people want to reopen, right? Which I think is an assumption that maybe is not as solidified as I once thought before. I once was under the assumption that people wanted to reopen, but I don't know if that's like true anymore. I think there's a lot of people who would much rather live in a world where they don't have to really. They would much rather live in a world that resembles what it looks like today, where it's locked down, where the government's giving you money, where they can tell you what you can and can't do, where they can decide your life. And for me, that's not the world I want to live in. I don't want to rely on the government to give me money, because the government's never going to give me enough that I need, because it's a government. They're not going to give you you can't give people a surplus of money. You give people a surplus of money, then they don't do anything, so they don't feed anything into the economy. Because one of the things about an economy is you need a job, and one of the things about getting paid is you get paid based on your value, and if your value is $7.25 an hour, then that's where you're going to get paid. And I think it's so obvious that even with the stimulus package that I think I'm recording this on Wednesday, it should be passed. I know it was passed by the Senate. It's going to get passed by the House. It didn't even make it through. They realized, well, you can't just bump up minimum wage to $15 an hour, because some places you can do that. Some places, aka like Seattle and Portland, Los Angeles and New York City, these places that have a much higher GDP in these cities, these states, where you can pay people more. But I don't know if you've ever been to places in Virginia or Western Maryland or Virginia, or these places where the jobs are you're not going to find a lot of jobs, and the economies aren't raging as much as they're raging in like Los Angeles. And if you pay somebody, if you jump from $7.25 to $15 an hour, those places are going to go even more out of business. And I think that's something that people don't realize. I think the biggest issue with a lot of a lot of things when it comes to like finances is a lot of people who are in a state of not like a physical state, but like in a state in their own world. It's much you can have abrasive opinions on a lot of things when you are not aware of the reality of a lot of things. You see what I mean? Like you can say we're going to bump up to $15 an hour, but you're not aware of the dramatic negative side effects that would have on a lot of states. You're just not aware of it because I don't know if you're not cultured. I don't know what it is. But by doing that, you're going to have a lot of cascading effects. Now, do you go to these places and you make jobs? Maybe that's a great thing. But that was a thing, and then they took away the coal mines, and then then the fight against climate. And when you fight against climate, that means you can't have coal and you can't have oil. And what happens when you can't have oil and coal? The places that produce it go out of business. And then you have towns and cities and states, aka West Virginia, parts of Tennessee, parts of Virginia, that they built their entire economy off of a coal mine or oil, and then they're just stripped away, and then they're taking their jobs are taken away left and right, and then these people don't have anything. They don't have a job, and it's not about the money per se, but there's something that Jordan Peterson always brings up. Having a job is the most important thing in the world. The money is good, but having a purpose is, and I agree, I think having a purpose is everything. Giving you a reason to wake up in the morning and doing something is that's what keeps people alive, right? That's what keeps people alive. And I think a lot of these towns that are depressed, that are sad, that are ruined, is that there's no possibility of making it out. And that's the same thing with like inner city towns, the ghettos, the trailer parks, like anywhere where there's a lot of poverty. The thing has infiltrated these places the most is that there like, for me growing up as the person as I am, there was always a possibility of making a lot of money. There was always a possibility of me getting a job because I had role models. I had people to look at. I had my parents. I had friends. I had family. I had, I had access to see that I can make it out. But I think a lot of these places, they don't have that. And then especially if you're like in a coal miner, yeah, you do see it, right? If you watch your dad, he made a lot of money. $60,000, $70,000 can get you a lot in a lot of these coal mine towns. And then the plug is pulled. And then you're like, well, damn. If they could just pull the plug like that, what do I work for? Because even if I do have control of my own position, they can just cut the cord, and I think that's really sad. And I know it's a balance. It's a touchy subject because you have climate, you have the planet that you want to take care of. And then at the same time, you have human beings that are losing their jobs. They can't feed their families. They turn to meth. They turn to drugs. It's sad. It is. It really is sad. Like, the cycle of poverty it's a real thing, and it's, in my opinion, it's the core issue in this country. I had a really good quick conversation with one of my friends, and we were talking about racism. And we both kind of agreed upon that a lot of the issues with racism, there's definitely a number of people who who have hate in their heart towards people that don't look like them, race, sex, height, whatever it is, culture, religion. There's a number of people who just have hate deep inside them. They just hate. I would say the vast majority of people who come off as being racist or sexist or homophobic, or they hate or Islamophobic or whatever phobic it is, whatever ist it is, I think a lot of it has a lot to do with ignorance, and they're just not smart. They're just not cultured. They have. When you're not smart, you have fear, right? And when you have fear, you push away. And I think a lot of the issues we have in this country are lack of communication, lack of education, lack of culture. There's not culture. There's not different types of people intermingling. And the reason why is because intermingling leads to a lot of uncomfortable relationships, but it also doesn't. If you look at New York City, like it's a melting pot of everybody: Cubans, Africans, Germans, Russians. It's just chaos of humanity down there. And I think the biggest issue when you meet somebody who has a spark, I don't want to say spark, but you could tell that they have a inclination not to like somebody that doesn't look like them, or may not appreciate them as a human. It's so easy to go like, F that person. That person's a piece of crap. I don't want to talk to them. They suck. They need to get out of my life. But when you do something like that, you're continuing the cycle. You really are. And it sucks, but you are. You're continuing the cycle instead of attempting to maybe understanding where that person comes from, and maybe if you could, having a conversation, maybe just sparking their interest for the first time, be like, hey man, why'd you say that? Because a lot of the times people who have hatred in the heart, or have hatred in the heart or they have ignorance in the heart that's covered up as hatred, they may have never ever been asked that question. Hey man, why'd you say that? That's a question that can lead to a cascade of inner dialect. It can make you go like, why did I say that? That doesn't make sense. And I think that's super important for us to do. I think it's super important for us to have real life conversation with people and talk to people that we don't ever talk to. And I know I talk about it all the time in this podcast, but I mean it. Like, I really do mean it, because I really do think communication is the number one way. And I'm not talking like this nonsense on social media. I'm talking in-person conversation. And if it's not in person, podcasting or face-to-face, FaceTiming, having these uncomfortable conversations, reading about things that you don't know about, things that you've never been taught, understanding that, hey man, if you're a white person, you went to school in a white area, you weren't taught history. You were taught history from the eyes of a Caucasian. And I think understanding that, understanding why a ghetto is the way it is, understanding terms like over the railroad, or on the other side of the tracks, or understanding what does it mean that highways divide cities? Like, understanding that a lot of this country was built off the back of racism, systematic racism. Governors, state delegates, people in power working with these huge organizations, which work with the banks, and the banks didn't give out mortgages if you're a black person. And if a black person was moving into the neighborhood, they would tell all the white people, and the white people would move out, which would decrease the value of the black person's house that was, trying to sell. And it's just like, a lot of these things are not known, and they need to be talked about. We can't have these people just in these these positions of power just saying what we want them to say. And you're seeing this a lot with like Biden. And I don't want people to think that I'm a huge Trump supporter. I'm a huge Biden supporter. I'm a neither supporter. I support a lot of things. I disapprove a lot of things Trump did. I hate the way he talked about people. It was disgusting. It was horrible. I hate the way Biden says things, but nothing gets done. Like, I know it's only been 2 months, but you see like these news stories of like these camps in Mexico or on the border, and they're just doubling in number of kids. And it's like, we give way too much power to these people. We think that these politicians are just going to come along and save the day. They don't do that. They're not going to ever do that. What is a politician? Like, what is it? What are they? They want to vote. They want to vote of who? A people. The people voted them in. Now, these people are going to vote them in and just go like that and back away. And then these politicians are going to do whatever they want to do. But what they're going to do is not going to do what the people wanted them to do, because once they get in power, they don't need to do what they were told to do or what they said they were going to do. They're going to do what they want to do, whether we drop a bomb on Syria or double the increase of kids in these camps on the border of Texas. That's the reality. That's the reality. I don't know. I think it's fascinating. I saw a story yesterday about 78% of people who died of COVID were. Let me pull that up. I want to make sure. I'm right on that. Where did that from? Nope, not that. Is that it? Yeah. Nope, that's not it. We'll get there. We'll find it. Man. I ain't afraid. Let me see that. 78%. 78%. COVID deaths. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. This is the stuff that I think we've been talking about for a long time, man. Like we have been. I've been saying this on my podcast. I mean, I never stopped podcasting towards during this entire thing. I never did. I would be really fascinated to go back and listen to what I said about COVID because I think I said a lot of things that were 100% inaccurate, and I apologize for that. CDC, which CDC has been on it lately. They came out and said that if you have been vaccinated and you're around somebody who is vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask. You don't need to be socially distanced. And I understand, like, obviously that's, if something is 94%, if you both got the Pfizer vaccine and they both are claimed to be 94% effective, then I'm sure like the odds of you getting COVID and spreading COVID are very low if you're a room full of vaccinated people. What are you going to have to do? Put like a stamp on your forearm to show like, I'm vaccinated. I joke about it, but it could easily happen, like a little Chuck E. Cheese tattoo right under your wrist. But the CDC's been on it. They've been aggressive, dude. The whole country's been aggressive. Mississippi's been open for 2 days. Texas has been open for 2 days. Florida is just like doing Florida things. They've never really shut down. The Dakotas, Missouri, Idaho. Idaho was burning masks. Did you see the video? It's actually kind of disturbing to see. It's not just like burn. I get it. Like freedom of speech. Burn mask if you want to. That's fine. But like these grown adults were making their kids burn masks. What is going on, dude? That is insane to me. To me, if you're going to burn a mask, don't make your 8-year-old Jimmy or 4-year-old Sarah burn the mask for you so you don't have to do it. Like, burn your own mask. You're a grown-up. Like, this video, they literally have one of those, trash or, like, those oil barrels. And there's a fire, and they're just throwing their mask in there. These kids are like, woohoo, woohoo, and the parents are just, like, filming it and Snapchatting it. And like putting it on Facebook and like MySpace and stuff and like putting it on YouTube. And you're just like, oh my God, this is like the cycle that we have to end. Like these poor kids they don't have a chance, dude. Like this is what I'm talking about. They don't have a chance. They're burning masks in the capital of Idaho, Boise or what, I don't know, whatever it was. Who knows? It's Idaho. Like what are you gonna do? It's freaking Idaho. It's almost like an upside down Florida Tennessee combination. But CDC's been on it, and like Maryland reopened 100% capacity inside everywhere, retail, fitness. Like I'm so excited for that. That's gonna be awesome. March 12th, 5 p.m. The 50% like football games, baseball games, outdoor venues, concerts. Like praise God, that's awesome. And I guarantee, Hogan, if this gets to you, brother, man, listen to this. You should do this. You should take my non-professional, non-scientific advice, and you should take it and talk to your real scientists. Open by May 1st, brother, man. Open. I'm just kidding. Don't listen to me. Do what you want. Do what you want. I just want the vaccine. What the heck is going on, Hogue? Where are the vaccines at, man? What's going on in emergent bioscience? I want the truth. What is happening down in emergent bioscience? I thought emergent bioscience was supposed to be developing the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I thought we were supposed to be getting that sucker. I put money in emergent bioscience. What's up with you, Biden, going there and then canceling at the last second? Did you not realize that there's no parking lot there? Did you not realize it's the tiniest building? Did you not realize that it's in Baltimore, in a very rough part of Baltimore, and your Secret Service wouldn't be able to park? But, where is the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, Hogue? Talking to you, man. I'm ready for it. I want my vaccine. My arm is ready, man. Or wherever you put it. My thigh. My toes. I want the vaccine, hoes. Come on. We can do it. Texas is giving out 200,000 vaccines a day. What are we? What are we doing? How many vaccines is Maryland giving out? The COVID vaccine distribution plan. What percentage of America is vaccinated? 10%. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if I can get a number on you. I'm going to get you though, Hogue. What are we doing, man? We got to get it done. COVID vaccine tracker. Hell yeah. By state. I'm going to get you, Hoax. 10.7%. Okay. That's not bad. I'm just kidding. I pulled back a little bit. I pulled back just a little bit, man. Given dose is 1.7 million. California is 11 million. Texas is 7 million. But, oh, wait. Are we the highest? I might have to apologize. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Hogan. Wisconsin is just the only one that's higher than us. Oh, and Indiana. Oh, and Virginia. That's it, though. You're doing a good job, Hogan. I'm just kidding, man. Thank you, brother. But yeah, also, let's get the state rolling, dude. Let's pull Texas up in this month and get the world open. Come on. CDC finds that 78% of people hospitalized for COVID were overweight or obese. What? Yes. Why do we not? Yes. This is a disease. Obesity is a disease. Depression is a disease. Addiction is a disease. What? Why do we not help obese people? I talk about this all the time on my podcast. Why do we tell people it's okay to be extremely obese? Why? Why is that accepted to be a good thing? Why do we BS people and telling them that a certain amount of alcohol is healthy for them? Why do we tell people things when we know they're not true? Don't lie. What are we doing? There's nothing wrong with telling somebody that being obese is unhealthy. But me saying that I am being sizist, is that? Let me see what's going on here. Sizist. I'm probably sizist, dude. Sizist. Weightism. Sizeism or size discrimination is the idea that people are prejudged by the size. You are. You are prejudged by your size. You are. You're prejudged by your car that you drive. You're prejudged by your outfit that you wear. You're prejudged by the way you speak. You're judged. Any person who says they don't judge is a liar. When you're fat and you're obese and you're out of shape, your body will not protect itself as well as it could as if it was in shape, not fat, and in good condition. That is just the truth. That's the truth. And we have to. In my opinion, we have to stop with this thing of it's okay. It is, I guess it is okay, but it's not healthy, right? It's not a good thing to be super fat. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being over. I don't even really want to get into it, but I think when you see studies like that, like 78% of people hospitalized, just imagine if we took care of the obesity level 30 years ago. Or 5 years ago. Like, what's the percentage of people? Percentage Americans that are obese. What percent of Americans are obese? More than 1/3 of adults in the United States are obese. In the United States, 36.5. Another 32. Okay. How can I do that? How can I okay, so 36.5% of the country is obese. So what's 75%? 0.75 of 36.5. So 27.8%. Let's say we got down the United States obesity down to, no, I'm not going to mess with that. But I'm just saying, like, I think there's a lot of other issues. The skinniest people are Colorado. Shout out to you, Colorado. Followed by Utah, Hawaii, Massachusetts. That's what I'm talking about. No, but seriously, I think there's a lot of underlying issues, and I think if we can go around this like the right way, and we can really start looking at like a lot of other things that need to be fixed. The thing that needs to be fixed the most is the fat people, man. I'm telling you, man, it's not good. 66% of United States is obese or overweight. Worldwide, 37%. And every time you go to the doctors, they always tell you, lose weight, you need to lose weight, you need to lose weight, you need to lose weight. And it's like, it will make you happier. Mental illness will fade a little bit. Physical illness will fade a little bit. You won't be in the hospital if you get coronavirus. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an absolute jerk. And that could easily be it too. I don't know. But we'll see. How much longer I got? 10 minutes. Oh yeah. I almost forgot. I'm wearing so another thing, if you guys, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. And this is another thing about the donation thing. If you want to give money to the podcast, once again, it's the link in the description in the bio. But I went ahead and I went to Custom Ink, just Custom Ink, not like my old supplier. My old supplier sounded like I was a weed dealer, like a heroin dealer, psilocybin dealer. What's the good one? Not the good one, but fentanyl dealer. Not a good one. Sorry. That was mean. I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. I take it back. I didn't say it. I did say it. I apologize. I went ahead to Custom Ink and I made a few sweatshirts. So I made a few sweatshirts. I made 5 sweatshirts, white and black, 1 large, 1 XL in black, and then 1 large, 1 XL, 1 small in white. And it's just a quick little podcast sweatshirt, nothing crazy. So what it has here is, it says I don't know on it. It says I don't know because the reason why it says I don't know is for this. People ask me, what is your podcast about? I always say, I don't really know, and then I just say random things. It's kind of about politics. It's about me. It's about, the way I'm viewing the world. It's about news stories. It's got a little comedy in it. It's got just my childhood trauma. It's basically just a full-on therapy session, but I don't really know. It's just chaos. It's just chaos. So I kind of was like, let me get something that represents the podcast really well. So I went ahead and I just made these sweatshirts. It's so me. It's crazy. It just says, I don't know. It's got a monkey on it. It's got a slice of heart pizza. It's got a rocket ship because SpaceX. Pizza because I like pizza. Monkeys because ancestors. Chimps. We're all chimps. And the beach because the beach is nice. And on the back, it's got 2 arrows, one pointing this way, one going the other way, because the podcast goes everywhere. It goes off the rails all the time. It's got an alien because aliens had sex with monkeys and made humans over 2 million years ago, which is pretty tight. What else does it have? It has a microphone, like a podcast microphone. And it's like all lined up, like stacked vertically, which I know isn't like a cool thing, but I like the vertical look. I don't know. I'm all verted out though. I see the world from a inverted standpoint. And then it's got one other thing on it. I can't see, man. But it's really nice. And if you want one, just let me know. I might order a few more. I don't know. They're expensive. They're just custom made, so they're not like customized or anything. Well, that's the irony there. It is customized, but it's customized through Custom Ink, which isn't nearly as customized as other types of customization like China and stuff like that. So, House starts a debate on Biden's COVID. Don't care about that. What's else going on in the world? So those are the 2 main things. The 3 main things. Freedom in Maryland, which is popping back off like crazy. Sweatshirts, I have them. I bought a few from me. If you want one, let me know. But also, you can donate money to the podcast in the description box below. And I was like, man, I was worried about that. But then I was like, nah, I'm not worried about it because I work hard. I do. Like, I haven't missed a day in a few months. Like, I've been putting out a video. I've been 174 episodes in the matter of, I don't know, 100 weeks maybe less than that. Like, a lot of videos. And I think I've delivered enough value to be able to accept money for it and invest, because I'm just going to invest it back into it, I mean, literally, I got a job with DoorDash just to fund my my investments in the podcast. Like I truly, like, this is the thing I love to do. I love this podcast. It's one of my favorite things I have right now in my life that I do. Like that keeps me challenged, makes me mentally sharp, is a podcast, because it really does. It lets me like think about things. I feel like it makes me smarter. Yeah, the benefits of the podcast is I feel smarter. I really do, because I have time to think about things and like why did I say that? Do I actually believe that? Or like it gives me time to think about things at a critical standpoint, and it gives me the ability to look at viewpoints from a completely different standpoint, which I think is super important. So that's why I did it, because I feel like I feel like I should be allowed to. I mean, it's my podcast, and also I'm not forced people to donate. But if you want to donate $10, that would be awesome. $10 each month. That would be really nice. That's nothing. That's nothing, man. Oh yeah, he didn't drop the mask mandate. You still got to wear the mask. That's another thing. Like Texas and Mississippi, they dropped the mask mandate, but no one's gonna force you to wear a mask. Like take it off. Like you could still wear a mask if you want to. New England ice cream brand quietly drops name after cancel culture takes aim. I wonder what that's about. Let's see. From Fox Business, some say regional name for sprinkles has racist history. Okay, here we go. This is the stuff I love. This is always fascinating to me. So what's going on with the market while I'm doing a podcast? I'm looking at my phone because we're professionals. My phone just flipped upside down. Boom, Bitcoin to the moon. Yo, Bitcoin is going to the moon. It's going to cross 60,000 by April. Oh my God. Digital currency group to put $250 million in grayscale Bitcoin. Woo! Pop off. It's like popping off against inflation, which is really fascinating. I'm not really shocked. I look at Bitcoin as like a fight against inflation. Like I think it's a long-term asset. I've talked about it before. You guys don't want to hear about it. What in a name? Okay. What in a name? What's in a name? Jesus Christ. I can't talk too much. I talk at least a guaranteed hour and a half a week on a podcast. Just about. If the name is Jimmy's, it's hard to say, but one ice cream producer in Massachusetts isn't taking any chances. Brigham's Ice Cream changed the name of its Just Jimmy's flavor to Just Sprinkles sometime last year. Jimmy's are what some New Englanders call the ice cream topping most Americans call sprinkles. The history of the term Jimmy's isn't clear. So now we're speculating. This is good. I like speculating. Several companies have claimed to have invented it in the topping, but some people now say that it's a derogatory term related to Jim Crow, the racist caricature that came to stand for discriminatory laws and segregation put into place following World War or Civil War. Even the fact-checking website Snopes has ruled that Jim Crow's connection unproven. So why change the name if it may or may not be racist? Well, I think if it may be racist, you should change the name. Why would you risk it? Lynn Bowen, a spokesperson for Brigham's parent company, HP Hood, told the Linfield Patch this week that, quote, while the origins of the word Jimmy's is unclear, Brigham's made the decision to change the name to ensure that brand reflects our values and meets our consumers' expectations, end quote. Just Sprinkles remains the same flavor recipe that Brigham's fans know and love, Bowen told the Patch. Wait, hold up. This lady said, Brigham's quietly changes its Just Jimmy's ice cream flavor to Just Sprinkles. Whether Jimmy's is a racist term has been debated for several decades. Snopes says it isn't able to prove or disprove, but perception is probably more important than history. Hell yeah, dude. Making journalists in 2021 is going to be awesome. We just talk about ice cream. By the way, there's not enough Jimmy's on that ice cream, or Sprinkles, or whatever you want to call it. They definitely did not give it enough Jimmy's on top of it. Honestly, yo, Brigham, if you're listening to this, your ice cream looks like the Jimmy's or the Sprinkles that go on top of it looks like rabbit poop. You need to change the shape up a little bit. Maybe that's just Sprinkles. I don't know what you guys do up there in the cold areas of Massachusetts. I don't know what you guys do up there, but that ice cream looks like it has poop on it. It's also only 20% covered. If you're going to give me an ice cream cone and you give me just enough Jimmy's to cover, spitting all over my mic, just enough Jimmy's to cover up 20% of my pink ice cream cone, we're going to have an issue. You're going to have to step outside of your grocery store. You're going to have to step outside of your ice cream hut, and we're going to have to throw down. We're going to have to throw down like two real men. We're going to have to fight because your Jimmy's was slacking on my pink ice cream top, okay? So that's honestly, that's a bigger issue I have with the name because I don't even know if it's racist. But if it is racist, don't say Jimmy's. We should say Sprinkles. So I'm going to end this podcast off by saying this. If you're out there and you hear somebody use the word Jimmy's for Sprinkles, or listen, if you hear someone say Jimmy's, if you know somebody by the name of Jimmy, don't call them Jimmy anymore. Call them Sprinkles because Sprinkles is not racist. Jimmy's, it sounds a little homophobic though. Sprinkles sounds a little homophobic. I could totally see where that could be misconstrued as like a mean thing to call somebody who's homosexual or bisexual. Is homosexual canceled? Is it? I don't think it is. I think gay sounds, I don't know. I don't know which proper term to call someone. I think it's homosexual. But yeah, don't call it. No one's a Jimmy anymore. They're Sprinkles. But with that, guys, that's it. That's all I got. The chaos is over. You guys can go back enjoying your life without me ruining it. Thank you for watching episode 174. Hit the link in the bio. Donate to the podcast. Do whatever you guys want to do. Love you guys. Peace out. See you. Have a beautiful, beautiful